Everyone we see is a reflection of us. Today, I wanted to bring something that I think is a valuable insight into, I think, business strategies and implementation and, I suppose, growth. It's interesting because when it comes to growth in business and marketing and strategy, we we want to see growth. We want monetary gain and value. We want to do well. We want to pursue and endeavor and be the best we can and support our family and the people in our business and our company, and that's all well and good. But don't lose yourself along the way. We've heard the adage quality over quantity, and how there are factory outlets that just pump things out like robotic, but there's no love or no heart in behind it. It's just a machine that pumps things out with no care, no love. It's like baking a cake from scratch by hand, by putting the love with you and Nonna or your mom or your father, and doing it by hand because you love to do it and you see the results. Instead of just putting it in a machine and making it work and then going, look, I made a cake. No, you didn't. The machine did. But you don't lose the essence of it. You still make a cake, but it's not the same. It doesn't have that core belief, that core value, that heart, that love energy that makes everything more beautiful. To make things faster, you can adopt new techniques, new strategies, new styles, and you can be open to that, and I am open to that, and I'm sure a lot of people are as well. I think you have to allow for the possibility of change to come along, and it might look difficult to start with, but there are benefits to doing it in one particular way. But as I say, do not lose your heart or who you are along the way. You see other people are doing it well. It's what they do. Retail chains check what their competitors are doing and try to beat it so that they can draw the people in. And I see that for what it is and its value, and I disagree. I think true value comes from who you are. We can just see it in buildings. If you go back to eons and centuries and all the days when they built those beautiful temples and the beautiful buildings and crafts, and it doesn't matter who made them or how, but look at the structure. Look at the paintings they did back then. How have we evolved from that to now? Because we have lost our way. It has been made cheaper and more effective in use, the factory line. And it's lost its heart, its connection. There are times when we can make things better, but I think we get placed under so much pressure, whether the pressure is ourselves or placed upon us by a business who is controlling us. Some things can be seen as positive and some things can be seen as positive for negative sake. Changing a way to adapt to a system that works but is not who you are. Cakes are not made by hand anymore. You buy them in a packet and you put it in a thing and add an egg and away you go. It's in an oven. You can go onto a lot of applications now on the phone, drawing apps and stuff that make life so much easier, but is there love behind it? Is there a technique behind it? Or is it just template after template and idea after idea to make the life easier so anyone can become an artist or a designer? And giving people false expectations on what it is. But I applaud those people for branching out and trying new things and assessing that. I mean, you move with the times, I get it. But as with everything from art and digital currencies, digital NFTs, to all these online apps now, it's just making the everyday person more accessible to things where they don't need the techniques or the talents of the designers or the artists or, you know, the bakers and all of this sort of stuff, because they've eradicated that. They've made it easier now where you can just buy it off of the shelf. Sometimes it hurts. It hurts to see that people who are so talented at what they do, it can be removed from something that they've worked years for, eons for, to understand, to get good, to progress. It really is a difficult time when you see those sort of things, and when you're not in a position to do anything about it. Do you hold steadway because you have to live that life? Do you move with it? Do you make the changes? Do you just roll up your sleeves and say, well, there's nothing more I can do? Sometimes we see situations like this and it hurts our feelings. Not in a way that's disrespectful or dishonest or anything like that, but you can see where it comes from. You can see why it's happening. And there may be good behind it. I get it. Good intentions, because it makes life easier for everyone to do it this way, but sometimes doing it the longer way is better. Sometimes quality over quantity is better because there's more love behind it, rather than just another piece of plastic that we can throw in the bin that'll be forgotten about in a day or two or a month or a week. No one cares. But something that is made with pure love and heart and energy, that'll be remembered all the time. So don't lose yourself along the way. Sure, make acceptances or allowances for new trends and new ideas. Go with the flow. Don't get lost behind. But don't lose yourself along the way for the sake of someone else or something else. Always be who you are. Always live who you are. And always focus on the things that provide you joy and love. Sometimes there are times that we just have to go, you know what, whatever, right? We live by that. If that's the way it wants to go, that's the way it wants to go. There's not much we can do. But don't let that change you. Don't let that change the love that you put into it. Because you can still make the small changes to make it distinct, to make it unique. So that even though something might look simple, there is still a part of you that's assigned to it that no one else is doing. No one may not see it. No one may not care. But the fact that it's there is the love that you place in it, and the love that you place in any piece of food or work or anything that you do. There is love there, and that love can change and heal people, and people will see it. No one should ever sacrifice quality for quantity, or quantity for quality. Everything should be done with love. And everything should be done in accordance to balance and perfect timing. We are in no rush. But it is the way that it is, and unfortunately, that's the way that it goes. Well, is it? Is it lessons that we learn and understanding the feelings that we feel these things, and why? You can feel it's a machine. You can feel it's just another business trying to gain money. And we all need money. Yes, we do. We understand that. But don't be another cog in the wheel. Be one of those unique cogs that, people need, but for some reason, every time they do something, it's not as good. The world is trying to leave us behind. The world is trying to make it more simpler for people to do whatever it is they want to do with a click of a button. And they don't need all the specialists anymore. They are trying to make it robotic. They are trying to make your household so simple now that it can all be done with a simple click. And honestly, I don't want to live in a world like that. I want to reward the people for the hard work that they do, the learning, the experience that they did. I want to know their story and who they are and why they do the things that they do. I don't want to just be another statistic or another name at the bottom of a record, movie, or piece of art. So don't lose yourself along the way for the sake of a few dollars or a paycheck. You can adapt and allow for change if you have to. But always do it in a way where you never lose yourself. Secretly, you always add those smaller things. But stand up for who you are and never feel like you don't have a voice. For you do. We all do. And no matter what happens, we will always be here to support. And whatever it is you're going through, whatever it is that means you feel lesser than who you are, just know this, that I love you. And there are so many people that do. You may not see it, you may not feel it. But if it ever comes a day that you see me, I will be more than welcome to give you some love. Peace and love always.